1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Alright, everyone out there in Guitar Land, Mike Henning here, coming to you today with the old classic fiddle tune, Over the Waterfall in the key of D. I did this one for mandolin and banjo, and I thought it'd be fun to do a guitar version as well. It's working great out of the open D position. We're going to get some really good practice playing some of those upper scale positions out of the key of D in first position. Right? So a lot of good practice. A lot of fiddle tunes are going to work out of that shape. You're also going to get some really good backup practice on this lesson, doing half measures of each chord. If you're a beginner, you might not be familiar with like strumming and changing the chords that quickly, so you'll get some really good practice as well. So I did a basic A part and a basic B part, and a variation on each part if you're a little bit more advanced. I'll break them all down note for note, and like I said, we'll go over a backup lesson on how to strum the chords to this song. Alright, enough talking. Here's Over the Waterfall in the key of D. Let's get into this one. Alright, let's start breaking down this basic A part to Over the Waterfall in the key of D. We're going to keep the first part as simple as we can while still playing the melody, and then we'll look at spicing it up in the A part variation. So let's play like the first 9 measures. That's kind of halfway through so you can hear how it sounds. Here we go. Really slow. Okay, so we're kind of thinking out of this D chord to start, but we're going to use different fingers to free ourselves up to play more melodies rather than just playing the chord. So I want you to kind of think in this shape, except we're going to use our middle finger where our third finger just was, right? So you're kind of working out of this. It's just like a 2-finger D. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some melody notes on the top string, so you can hear this little scale starting on the 2nd string 3rd fret. And then we have open high E, and then 2, 3, 5. Just kind of like the first 5 notes of a D major scale. So that's kind of the shape we're working out of, right? Our middle finger is playing all the 3rd frets, our index finger is playing all the 2nd frets, our pinky's playing up on the 5th fret. So you can practice just moving those notes up and back down. To get familiar with that position, okay? That's the shape we're going to be working out of. So get familiar with that first. And then to start it, we're going to play a little pickup. We're going to play the 3rd fret, and then that open high E with an upstroke. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to play 4 quarter notes. So 2nd fret on the high E, 5th fret, 3rd fret, open. And what I want you to do is try and keep your left hand down as much as you can. Don't do this, where you're kind of lifting each finger up after you play. If you can keep them all down, until right here, obviously you got to take it off, but it's really going to help you minimize the amount of work, right? If you're always lifting all the fingers up or moving them, kind of stay in that position. Practice that as many times as you need to. We're going to play that phrase a few times, actually. And then we have a little response in measure 3, back down to the 3rd fret, 2nd string, open 2nd string, down to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Again, using those same fingers, so all downstrokes. So measure 2 into measure 3, right? I'm using all downstrokes with my right hand to not rush through that, okay? And then we actually pick it back up and play that same lick. And then right here we just change the very ending. We're just going to play the 3rd fret and do down, down, up, down. So if you learn that first part, you have a big portion of the melody down, right? So work on that. So let's play those first 5 measures. Here we go. We have that down, down, up, down picking kind of mimics a fiddle shuffle bow. That's kind of like a timekeeper there, right? We're just filling that up with picking. A little faster. Make sure you don't rush through those quarter notes. Then we play the same thing again. The only difference is right here, we're going to go down to our 2nd fret, or 2nd finger rather, 2nd fret, 2nd finger, 3rd string. So instead of going down this way, because we're actually going to go into a C chord in a second, so why I'm doing that is I'm shifting early, which is going to help me set up that C chord. So you always have to think where you're going next, right? In the first part, I'm going back up, right there, right? So I need to free up. Right here, I'm shifting down, and then I go. Okay? So you could do it either way. If you don't shift right away, it's not the end of the world. You can still, there's another spot to shift I'll show you in a second. So you can go land there, and then do 2nd fret, 3rd string, open 2nd string, and then land 1st fret, 2nd string, which is our C, and play that note twice. And then down the notes, kind of that same shuffle rhythm. So you have, and I'm going in measure 8, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. That's really going to help you play that timing. So if you don't make that shift and you play the first part the same, in measure 7, what you do here is play this, and then flip there, right? So you can still flip, it's just a little trickier. So that's why I flip here. Either way would work. So that's the first basic A part. Let's play that whole thing. Here we go. Shift. Okay, so one other thing I want to point out to you is that this fiddle tune follows a very common form. I think of it as the melodic phrases. If you think of this pattern, 1, 2, 1, 3. 1, 2, 1, 3. Those are the phrases. So we have phrase 1. Then we have phrase 2. Now we're back to phrase 1. Now we have phrase 3. Notice how measures 2 and 3 and 6 and 7 are more or less the exact same, right? So if you can remember that 1, 2, 1, 3 phrase, a lot of fiddle tunes follow that form. It's a lot less to remember, right? You can remember that opening phrase. If you can nail that part, you've got 50% of the basic A part down, right? Because that phrase 1, repeats twice, right? It's also very good for when you start to create variations, right? If you have 1, 2, 1, 3 phrase, maybe you play the first 1 phrase as written, and then you create a variation for phrase 1 when it comes back, right? So it gives you a spot to create variations as well.